What is up? It is MAZIE with Barbecue by MAZIE. If you are new here, you're in for quite the treat. And if you're coming back, I appreciate you. All right, I hope you're in the mood for some tri-tip because that is exactly what we are cooking up today. Reverse seared tri-tip. Tri-tip is actually the very first thing I ever made on my smoker, and as it turns out, it also happens to be my favorite. So you can cook a tri-tip like a steak, which is my preferred method, or like a brisket, which is also delicious. If you're interested in seeing me smoke a tri-tip like a brisket, why don't you go ahead and let me know down in the comments, because I love a good excuse to smoke some meat. One of the reasons I love a tri-tip, especially for the family, is there are thinner pieces on the ends, thicker pieces in the middle, and so everybody gets a little slice of the doneness that they like. It's perfect. Tri-tip is a more common cut on the west here. I'm in Utah, so it's located in all of our grocery stores. I didn't realize that it's a little bit harder for some of you on the East Coast to get this cut, but if you ask your butcher, they should be able to get you this cut. But really, this is a super simple and straightforward cook. We are going to smoke it at a lower temperature, 225 to 250, and then we are gonna bump that heat and we're gonna sear it at the end. You can do this in a pellet grill, charcoal grill, gas grill, in your oven, whatever you're working with. It's gonna be just fine and going to turn out absolutely delicious. Something to note with a tri-tip is the grain does run in two different directions. Why is this important, you ask? I'm gonna tell you. When you're slicing it, you wanna make sure that you're slicing against the grain so that the bite is as tender as it can possibly be. So I'm going to show you that before we season it, and then also when we cut it. Just wanted to give you a heads up so you're not like when you see your own tri-tip. I think I've babbled on long enough. Let's jump right in and check out this meat. Checking out our meat. Before we season it, I want to show you how the grain on the tri-tip runs different. This is going to come in handy when we start to slice it after the cook, but if you can kind of see how your tri-tip's grain looks before you season it, it's going to make a lot more sense when it's time to slice it. The reason it's so important to understand the grain of a tri-tip, if you're slicing against the grain, you're going to have more tender pieces. So you can see right here on this side of the tri-tip, our grain is running this way. Then right here it switches. So I hope you can see it in this video, but if not, before you season your tri-tip, make sure you pay attention to the way that grain is going. All right, let's hop in here and season it. And I'm going to go really heavy with this seasoning. Pat it in. All right, for this cook, I have my smoker set at 250 degrees. If you want, you could go down to 225. If you've been watching me for a while, I like to smoke most of my meats a little bit higher at 250. That meat's looking real nice. Let's get her on the smoker. All right, so on my Pit Boss, the firebox is in the middle. I don't want it directly over the main heat source, so I'm putting it to the left or right. Today we're going to the left. To the left, to the left. All right, so since we're reverse searing this tri-tip, remember we're gonna cook it at a lower temperature and then we're gonna crank that heat and sear it at the end. Well, we're looking for an internal temperature of about 120 to 125, and then we'll go ahead and sear it up to about a medium rare in the 130, 135 range. That's the plan. So I'm gonna head inside and pop a cold Diet Coke, and we will come check on this tri-tip here in about 30-40 minutes. All right, we're coming up on about 50 minutes into this cook. I've got my Thermopin 1 here. This is my most used barbecue tool, an instant read thermometer. Get you one if you don't have it. But we're sitting at 110, trying to get around 120, 125. Depending on the doneness that you like. So we're getting real close. We're going to keep a real close eye on this old girl. Hey gang, we're at our tri-tip here. All right, It's been just over an hour. We've got our thermopin again, and we want to check the temperature in the thickest part of our tri-tip. So that's going to be in this area. And we're at about 125, which is great. All right, so we're going to take the tri-tip off and get the sear started. So for searing on the Pit Boss, all I'm going to do is crank the temperature up as high as it'll go and open that sear plate. Bada bing, bada boom. Eat. Easy. If you don't have that capability, it's just fine. Go get you a Pit Boss, or you can sear in a cast iron pan with a little bit of butter. You could sear it on a griddle if you have one. You could heat up your charcoal grill and get it really hot if you have one. There's lots of options. You just need a really hot surface. All right, so we are going to get this Pit Boss rip roaring and hot and ready to sear. We're gonna sear, we're gonna sear all day. All right, we got that flame going, so we're just gonna put our tri-tip right over it. And I'm gonna do about 2.5 to 5 minutes per side. I really love the char and the crust on a tri-tip, so the searing part to me is one of the most important parts of this cook. This is one of my favorite parts about the Pit Boss, is being able to just open the sear plate right here. This lever here opens up so you can access the flame really easy for all searing. Check that out. That is perfect. It's so freaking hot. Okay, we're finished searing on both sides. So we're going to go ahead and take it off the grill now. She's so pretty. All right, so at this point, we want to be sure that we let our tri-tip get a nice little rest, okay? 10 to 20 minutes. You can wrap it up in butcher paper if you want. You could wrap it up in foil, give it a nice little blankie, but just make sure you don't skip this poor baby's rest. After about 15 minutes, we're gonna come and slice it. Remember, don't screw this part up. Hopefully I don't screw this part up. I'm sure the peanut gallery in the comments will let me know if I do screw it up. Can't wait. I've got my slicing knife here from Pit Boss. She's a real looker. I really like her. Remember, before we cooked it, we looked at the grain. It changes right about here near the point. I can see it on mine. So I'm going to slice it right here. Excellent. Take a peek in there. Hey, listen, we won't have any comments about that's not done enough or that's too done. You don't have to eat it. Cook it how you want it. Save those comments for your mama. Now we are going to turn this because our grain is going like this. And we are going to slice right here. Okay, now I like my tri-tip sliced pretty thin, so that's what I'm going to do. If you've got someone in your family that doesn't like it as well done or likes it a little more well done, those ends will be perfect for them. Look how freaking juicy that is. And all this juice on your cutting board is great for dipping. All right, so this one, you see our grain, it's going this way. Doot, doot, doot. We're going to turn it and we're going to slice it this way. Okay, like that. All right, while I'm slicing this, I just have to say thank you so much for all the wonderful comments and support this channel gets. I do this just for fun. I'm a stay-at-home mom. Really couldn't do it without you guys. I really am out here just having fun, being goofy, and I appreciate you guys for enjoying the silliness. Just felt like telling you that today. I'm looking forward to this summer. Lots of cooks out here. Hopefully there's a couple videos you guys will enjoy. I gotta try the little end piece with that crust and that seasoning. Oh my gosh. I did it again. Oops, I did it again. I made delicious meat. Woo! I love tri-tip. If you've made it this far in the video, will you comment giant cactus? Just so I know who's hanging out with me till the bitter end. Listen, you guys, this is one of my favorite things to make on the smoker. If you haven't tried it yet, I hope you'll give it a try. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I had an absolute ball. I hope you did too. We'll see you back here next time. Ta-ta for now.
Fotboll har vi alltid gjort, så det